Drumpftland, Chapter 2 continues. But if you spent enough time with Bronson, you would come to recognize that there's just some part of him that's stuck as a 10-year-old boy. There are some things he just doesn't absorb. He just doesn't understand them, isn't capable of understanding them, and he's not capable of being overly concerned about it. All you can do is explain things as simply as possible for him. He might come back to it later, but usually not. It's sort of an out of sight, out of mind thing, and he's very agreeable. Did you get to visit with Bryant today? I asked them. Pastor Cross came by earlier with Pastor Wimbley and said you were going to see Bryant. Blake answers flatly. We saw him. How is he? I ask because I need to know. They aren't mistreating him, are they? No, they're not mistreating him, answers Mr. Cross with a heavy sigh. I feel like there's more to it, I state concerned. Mrs. Cross informs me. He doesn't believe you're alive. He was told you he was told you are, and we told him you are. Pastor Cross even shared that he visited you this morning himself and that you are very much alive, but he thinks it's a trick, so he'll stop asking to be executed. He thinks we're trying to prevent him from joining you. So he's on suicide watch. They're afraid he might hurt himself. I nod understandingly as I shed a few silent tears. Even if I had majored in psychology, I don't think I could help him. Yet I still want to help him. I want my old friend back. I miss him. Blake brushes my tears away. There's nothing you can do for him right now. Just get better yourself. I nod agreeingly to Blake and accept his loving, devouring kiss. His gentle touch is comforting, and it might seem strange that I'm so worried and concerned for a man who has felt more like a stalker than a boyfriend or fiance the last few years, and just tried to kill me a few days ago. But Bryant wasn't always like this. The real Bryant wouldn't dream of harming a hair on my head. It's getting close to dinner time, my father reminds the Crosses. Ava's abuela will be bringing her dinner soon, and you need to eat yourselves. Mr. Cross nods as agreeingly as he stands. Let's go home. Let's go home. It's in time. Let's go home. It's time for dinner. He comes to my bedside and kisses my forehead. Even if they don't let you marry Blake, you'll always be a member of this family. We love you no matter what. Thank you, Mr. Cross, I respond appreciatively. Mrs. Cross kisses my cheeks. I almost got the daughter I always wanted. I know your father and your grandfather will discuss Blake's proposal and give it serious consideration, but I know what I would do if I were them. She accepts Mr. Cross's offered hand. Blake slips off my bed, takes my round face in his hands, and kisses me thoroughly. There are a few things I wish I had done differently with you, but I can't go back and change the things I did when I was a dumb, horny teenager. All I can try to do now is better. Rest and heal. I love you. He's giving me strong eye contact, waiting for me to say it back. You know it's not like I don't care for you at all. Just say it, requests Blake with love filled eyes. I finally cave in. All right, I love you too. Blake smiles beatifically and kisses me again. Bronson hugs me tightly. When you and Bryant come home, we can all go swimming together in the pool. My eyes well over with big tears. I'm sorry, Bronson. I don't think I'll get to come home. Bronson asks, confused. But if you don't come home, Blake and Bryant will both be unhappy and miss you. I will be sad and miss you too. I don't know what to say to him, but my dad points to my neck and asks him patiently, Do you see these bruises on Ava's neck? Bronson nods yes. I can tell he's listening carefully. My father explains, These bruises are strangulation marks. Strangulation marks, repeats Bronson in serious thought. But that's like hanging someone. Finding a frame of reference for it in his mind that he understands. Like they used to do in the Wild Wild West for bad guys. Hang them and they die. I don't want Ava to die. I don't want Ava to die either, my father tells Bronson. But Bryant did that to her. He strangled her. She's not safe with Bryant anymore. She'll be safer at home with me and her mother. Bronson nods agreeably. Okay, as long as she's safe there. I want Ava to be safe. I love her and Blake loves her, and I know Bryant loves her too, but he hasn't been himself lately. I think something broke in his head. My father tells Bronson with a somewhat amused smile, I think you're right. So we better keep a little distance between him and Ava until he gets better. Bronson asks my dad, is it all right if I visit Ava at your house? Of course, answers my father. We'd love for you to come visit Ava at our house. It's been way too long since your last visit. You can even bring Blake with you. Bronson asks seriously, I don't have to bring him, do I? My father chuckles. You don't have to, but you can if you want to. You're both welcome to visit. Bronson hugs my father unexpectedly. Thank you, Dr. Washington. My dad pats his back. You're welcome, son. Then Bronson hugs me and kisses me, and this time he also rubs his face in my crotch. I was really hoping he wouldn't do that in front of my father, as my face flushes red with embarrassment. But Bronson's not embarrassed. He's happy as a clam as he waves cheerfully to us as he follows the rest of his family out of the hospital room. I shake my head, embarrassed and amused, as my father says to me, how in the hell did they miss that boy is a grade A doofus? I smile, I respond smiling. I'm telling you, it's like a superpower he isn't even aware of. He's friendly, outgoing, athletic, with excellent recall. He reads fine when he reads out loud, even though he may not understand fully what he's reading. And his handwriting seems perfectly normal. It's actually a little too nice for a guy's handwriting. So when he says something totally asinine that doesn't make any sense out of the blue, and people just assume he's joking. Hey, greets Dr. Walker cheerfully as he enters my hospital room with my abuela carrying a large picnic basket and a small cooler for her. He shares, we just passed the crosses as we were coming down the hall. Were they visiting? My father answers, yeah, they just left. Abuela tells us, you should have seen the dirty look Blake gave Dunstan. I asked, surprised, why on earth would Blake give Dr. Walker a dirty look? Dunstan, Dr. Walker directs me. I'm not on the clock right now, so call me Dunstan or Dunny. So I restate, why give Dunstan a dirty look? They've never had a conversation. Dad informs Abuela, Blake is sharp. He's figured out we're looking for a husband for Ava because we decided Bryant's become too unstable. So I inform him So I informed him we began looking over a year ago. So he's kicking himself. He's in love with Ava too, and he finally asked Bryant last Sunday to step aside so he can marry her. Abuela's eyebrows furrow with serious thought. But he's their oldest. He's been groomed to follow in his father's footsteps. Cross can't let him marry Ava. Apparently, Dad informs Abuela as he helps her and Dr. Walker make our plates. He has something over his father's head, so Cross won't deny him marrying Ava. Insurance policies, I insert. He calls them his insurance policies. Oh, says my father in surprised realization. So Blake mailed his father right here in front of me to marry you. Wow, that was bold, states Dr. Walker. Sure was, agrees my father. I'm not sure if I should think better of him or worse. Abuela asks me, Ava, do you know what Blake has on his father? I nod yes, but I don't answer. I just want to concentrate on the food that's been placed in front of me. Well, answers my father questions my father expectantly. Well, what? I respond innocently. Dad asks me frustrated, what does Blake have on his father? Video recordings, I answer with a shrug, as if it's not important. Recordings of what? Asks my father, a bit demandingly. I ask him, isn't this a bit like gossiping? Just spill it, orders my father. So I inform them video recordings of Mr. Cross being inappropriate with someone. With another man, questions Abuela. My mouth falls open from shock that she asked such a thing. Abuela, no, he's not gay or even bi. It's a young woman, and I'm not going to tell you who, so don't ask. But you know who, asked my father. Yes, I do, I admit, but I'm not telling you who. I would be mortified for my family to know. As much as they try to protect me, I do my best to protect them. We are a close family. We have very few secrets from one another. But just like all families, we have secrets just the same. Secrets that we keep to protect each other's hearts. Abuela then shocks me by asking, have you seen any of the videos? No, I answer a little high pitch. What's with you tonight? Why would I watch something like that? If Blake offered, I would not watch any of them. Then how do you know Blake's not bluffing? Asked Abuela. I state matter of factly, Blake doesn't bluff. If he's going to lose, he wants to do it with dignity, not possibly looking like a fool. Abuela asked me, do you think Blake asking Bryant to step aside so he can marry you himself set Bryant off on Sunday? I answered thoughtfully, I think it was a combination of things, not one specific thing. I know he was feeling like he failed to protect me properly. I shrugged. He's suffering. That's one thing I know for certain. He's suffering. Dr. Walker suggests maybe he assumes you're suffering too, in the same way that he is. Maybe that's why he was trying to set you free from suffering. I nod agreeingly. He was a sensitive boy. I think that's probably about as close as we're going to get to knowing what was happening inside his head last Sunday. End chapter 2.